welcome in Middle Tennessee basketball coach Kermit Davis to the program on the phone. Coach, we just got done seeing a clip of that historic upset over Michigan State in the Big Dance. How many times have you watched back that game since March? Now, be honest with me.
You know, Steve, I promise you, I've not watched a game start to finish. And
wow.
I'd like to watch the TV copy. I've watched parts. Now, we've clipped different things in teaching of our team this year, but I really haven't. I haven't watched it start to finish, and so I want to do that after the July recruiting period and kind of sit down by myself and watch the entire game.
Well, when you sit down and do that, what are the things that you think will stand out or do stand out now that tell you the most about the way your team competed that day?
You know, I kind of go back from the whole week of preparation, and I think that's where it started. I mean, our team had such a great confidence. We prepared in a great way. Our staff did a really good job. I thought the things that we thought were important to win the game in the scout, the guys carried it through. They executed offense. I mean, he scored 90 points against Michigan State, and we only had 2 transition baskets. So that means we got 87 points in the half court. And to do that against maybe the best defensive team in college basketball, that's kind of what will stand out when you kind of watch the game, you know, again.
I know you go into every game with your team expecting that they can win, but when you're real about it, this is a 2 versus a 15 matchup. A lot of people thought they could win the national championship. At what point, Coach, did you realize in that game that we've got a real shot? We don't just believe. We got a real shot to do this now.
You know, you felt good when we got up 15-2. Not feel good to win, but you felt good for your team because you're always worried in those situations that the moment may be too big, and you hope that your team will just play well. And if our team played well, you don't know if it's good enough to win, but you just want to be competitive and have a good showing. But I knew at halftime, and we were up 6 at half, and I walked in the locker room and I saw our guys, and I knew they knew they had a chance to win. And so I would say when we kind of survived those runs in the first half, went up 6 at half, that I knew we had a chance to be competitive down the stretch.
You hit the recruiting trail this week for the all-important July evaluation period. Is there any different reception for Kermit Davis out there this summer than maybe it was in the past?
You know, it is, and you just, you know, maybe coach's cliche, you'd say it's not, but it is. There's a heightened awareness of what we've done, and that's a good thing. And I think we all are trying to create expectations, and I think you can sense a higher expectation of our team, and that's a great thing. But there's no doubt when we call recruits, they have a sense of they've seen us play, they know what we've done, and we know it has no effect, Steve, on how our team is going to play next year. We've talked about that a lot. But we hope that the game brings is season ticket sales, fan awareness, media awareness that creates more excitement for our team going into the 16-17 season.
And perhaps some hardware coming up this week. You guys are nominated for Best Upset in the ESPYs. You're going to go out there with some of your players this week to enjoy the ceremony. What are you looking forward to most about that experience? You know,
I'm looking forward to seeing our players, to being among the best athletes in the world, and I'm looking forward for the Middle Tennessee State University brand to be out there in the middle of the best in the world. I mean, in every category. It's not a college athletic event. It's not a college basketball event. It is the best in sports. And so that's what is going to be really neat for me, just to have Middle Tennessee basketball on the red carpet with all those people. And I look forward to hopefully our players get a chance to meet some of those great athletes. And the ESPYs is a first-class organization, and just the detail of how we're going to travel, where we're going to stay, and all the things that go with it. You know you're going to the Grammys or the Oscars of sports.
You got some stiff competition. What do you think your chances of winning are?
You know, I don't know. You know, everybody's seen the Ronda Rousey. I don't watch that very much, and all I know is this, is that college basketball and March Madness is an unbelievably watched sport, and I think the people that go in and vote are people that follow college athletics, NFL, Major League Baseball, on and on. So hopefully click on to college basketball. So I know our school and our city has done a great job of the awareness. So I really don't know, Steve, but I know one thing: we've already won by just being out there in the nomination. Our players get a chance to be among the greatest people in sports, and so I think it's a win-win no matter what happens.
I would vote for you, that is for sure. And you talk about already winning, Coach. You get a contract extension off of this game. You were a very hot name this spring. What was it about the negotiations with Chris Massara in Middle Tennessee that made you feel so comfortable and confident to sign long-term to stay in the borough?
You know, Steve, like you or everybody, you know, we get some opportunities, and obviously, you know, my wife Betty and I, you know, in agreeing to the extension, have made a total commitment to Middle Tennessee State and Murfreesboro. We feel like we're part of the fabric of the community. It's where our daughters are raised. I mean, this is our home, and I guess, you know, what we've kind of done over the last 6 or 7 years, and it's our 5th championship in 7 years, and that's a good thing. And obviously, the Michigan State thing puts you at a heightened level, but we just, I mean, it motivates me to work harder than I've ever worked. I think our players have tasted national winning, and I think it's something that we'll just work for the next 8 years to try to get Middle Tennessee State basketball to the highest national level possible.
Well, you've raised the bar now. I remember asking you after the selection show, what would a win for Middle Tennessee in the NCAA tournament mean? Now that you've done that, what's the next step?
Season ticket sales, heightened fan awareness. I think that the biggest thing for me, I mean, we're going to work like heck in recruiting and improving facilities,